Hi. Welcome. We have a really exciting show for everyone here today. This is actually a listening party. Um, we for 15 minutes of fame. We last year to help us celebrate 15 minutes of fame. We did 15 calls, and one of our fabulous musicians, Stas Venglevski, um, signed on to do a second call for 15 minutes of fame. He had participated with us previously. And so we got a bunch of submissions and he learned it and they all came in. He recorded them and it's going to be featured on Composer's Voice at 2 o'clock. So this is just us here with Stas and a few composers to listen and have a little fun. Where is Stas? Stas!
Robert,
How are you?
I am doing just well. Finally, weather in Wisconsin getting better.
Here too. Today was a little bit chilly, but it's. I'm looking forward to the summer.
So I am so happy to be here, and this is one of the projects in my life, something to very much looking forward to. And I'm so glad David Bond introduced me to you a few years
Ah,
ago. He went after me for a while,
I know.
which I kind of resisted, and then finally I agreed, and I so happy I did. I did first time call, and now the second one, and we can talk later about it. How important this project, what you do, and it's just incredible. You meet so many composers all at once, and yeah. So
Uh,
thanks, Robert, having me here.
no, thank you, Stas. I mean, you're a fantastic player. Just truly a crusader for new music. I mean, you've been doing new music for a long time,
Yeah.
and you're you're playing and your virtuosity on the instrument is just phenomenal.
Yeah.
So wait, you know what? Why don't you tell a little bit of our audience about the instrument you do play? It's the bayan accordion.
It's a bayan. It's called Bayan. It's a button accordion, chromatic accordion. It's a concert instrument, and I have been playing this since 5 years old. And over the decades, this accordion becomes so popular, and nowadays it's just blooming all over the world.
Mhm.
And so many, besides classical, so many contemporary composers now write, and I think today we have bayan and accordion at the level what we have piano, violin, and this is just top-notch quality of performers and music written for accordion, and it's just amazing instrument. And then for special people who do not or not familiar with this, when they watch it first time and they just fall in love, because instrument can't breathe. It's just something like big machine, which just it's a human body voice. So, and that's why I'm wondering why. I'm not wondering, but so many composers so engaged with the instrument and they write for this instrument. There's so much to explore field. It's a huge, it's endless process. What with this instrument you can do. It's fairly new if you compare to other instruments. So
You
I
mean
mean
like
at that
like
level,
violin or
yeah.
what?
So
How old is the instrument?
oh, it's in 19th centuries
Okay.
in Austria. They first just came up with a bellow,
Hmm.
and then it's developed very fairly quickly.
Right. And Stas, I mean, you uh, besides new music projects and playing in concerts and things like 15 Minutes of Fame, you teach students too, right?
Yeah, I do privately teach students online and in person, and try to keep this machine alive and to show people, beauty of instruments. That's our mission.
Right. I mean, you have a not for profit foundation that does that too, right?
I also have Stas Venglevski Music Foundation recently. We started it and promoted among young people and try to involve new generation to be interested in accordion and help them, also encourage them to write music for accordion and for anything else. So
It's awesome. Well, that's what we do. We got to pass it down, right?
Yeah, and thanks for people like you helping us to broadcast and be interested in accordion. We always appreciate when people look at us, seriously.
Right. Well, that's what it is. Meanwhile, let's see if we can bring on some composers. Where is Jazz? Hi, Jazz.
Hi, Jazz.
Hello. It's great to be here.
Thank you. It's good to have you. I haven't seen you in a while. I know the last time that you submitted to 15 Minutes of Fame was for Craig Hultgren.
Yeah. And that was so great. So I don't know, when I saw this and I saw it was for Bayan, and then I listened to Stas play and I was like, oh yes, I have to write for this one. So back again.
Now, did you ever write for Bayan accordion before?
I had not. I had written for another accordion actually earlier, last year. And that kind of got me started. And then I think that gave me some of the confidence to try this, particularly because I really like playing with the sounds that are less used. So it felt like here's a great opportunity to try to continue doing that and see what can happen.
Fabulous.
Very interesting piece. And we had to get online with just a few times because I had many questions. And we resolved it very quickly. And yeah, I'm excited to people to hear.
That's awesome. Well, and that's the other thing I love about this project is that, part of its mission and purpose is to sort of connect composers with musicians who are looking to play new music. So I don't know, you guys might not know this, but I'm one of those shy composers that I can't, it's very hard for me to approach a musician and ask them to play or do something like that. So that's part of the reason why this project, this way, it's an easy introduction.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And I agree. I'm also that person, like I'll see someone play and think, oh, wow, that's incredible. But it's hard to kind of like make the initial introduction and, I'd love to work with you. That's a little harder for me too. So this is, I love this project for that reason.
Jess, tell us a little bit about you.
So I'm US based. I've been splitting my time between the Cleveland area and Chicago. I'm kind of finishing up a degree at Northwestern, graduating in June, finally. It's been a long journey, but I made it. I don't know. I have been composing since undergrad, and my degree is in composition. So it's something I love. I do it as much as possible. I think I especially love working with musicians, like specific people, instead of writing for an instrument. So that's another nice part about this project, is that it's like a human being you're writing for and all of their strengths, and not just, some generic kind of like set of pitches or timbres. So that's kind of like what I like to do.
Right. Excellent.
I hope audience will see your cat today at some point.
Yeah, she's sleeping on the other side of the table, but I'm sure once it's important, she'll wake up.
Right. Meanwhile, let's see, who should we bring on next? Let's bring on Dominic. Hi, Dominic. How's it going?
Hello, great to see you. And thanks for this. I echo what Jazz has said. It's great to write for a specific performer, especially Stas.
He's a great performer to write for. And Dominic, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I've always been a composer, but I lacked the confidence. I only came out as a composer about 12 years ago. And finally realized that I could write actually what I wanted to write, not what I thought other people were expecting. Again, very similar to Jazz. I love writing for specific performers. So we had a wonderful project with two theorbo players, which was quite incredible. And then a friend of mine set up what I call a soprano supergroup, 6 sopranos a cappella, which again was just a wonderful new sound world to play with. And now we've got Stas's virtuosity, which seems to be it's almost like sort of having three instruments to play with. You've got the bass, you've got the chords in the middle, and then you've got this wonderful sort of keyboard melody up at the top. It's an extraordinary instrument, actually, quite different from anything else.
Yeah.
Cool. And I want to see if I can get everybody on before the show starts. Hold on. That's it. Hey, Andrew, how's it going?
Oh, very well, thank you. Very good to be here, all the way from England, and I live in the southwest of England, so it's quite an amazing thing to be connected with people from the west coast, the east coast, other parts of Europe. It's quite an amazing experience tonight, and thank you for bringing it all together.
Oh, it's my pleasure. I have to admit, so I used to run a chamber. Composer's Voice used to be a chamber concert series here in New York City. And, it was great to host it here, and everybody would have like a live premiere of their pieces and so forth. But it was tough to get people from around the world to come to a performance. So I like this format in that it's we get to meet a lot of people face to face.
Oh, yeah, that's great. Yes, and well, it's also an amazing opportunity to write for Stas as well. That it was completely new for me to write something for the accordion, and I'm very nervous to hear how it's turned out.
Well. And now let me bring on Willen. So, hi, Willen. How's it going?
It's going.
Yep.
Am I muting?
Yeah. Are you there? You're there.
Yeah, I'm here. Yeah, thanks for having me. It's a pleasure.
Well, it's great to have you here. Where are you from?
Currently, I'm based in my hometown of Winnipeg, Manitoba. I'm a Canadian composer. I guess you could say emerging composer. Yeah.
Oh, so that's controversial to say that these days, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, it's what I say, what I'm saying for now. So
there's a boxes. We're all in our box, right? Now, funny enough, so Willen, you are one of our returning champions, if I can say that. It's not a competition, right? But you've been on a bunch of 15 Minutes of Fame, right?
Yeah, in fact, I wrote for Stas. Was it 2 years ago now, or maybe it was 2024? But I've collaborated with Stas before, and the piece today is completely different from the last one. And I did that on purpose. I wanted to see what else Stas could do after seeing such an impressive concert of works at that time. So, yeah, I'm excited.
Fabulous. We are too. And let's see who else we got. Where is Volker? Hi, Volker.
Hi, greetings from Germany. Can you hear me? No?
We can hear you.
Perfect. Great to be here. Pleasure to be here. And looking forward to hear the piece. First time I got in touch with the Bayan was the piece from Gubadulina, The Seven Last Words. And I really loved the instrument. But my piece is totally different, I think. So.
And Volker, you're also another composer who's been on a couple of 15 Minutes of Fame as well.
Yeah. David Bone had made some of my pieces, performed some of my pieces. It's great.
Yeah, I think everybody will be here David Bone a lot. He's kind of our man behind the curtain, sort of. He's a big advocate for 15 Minutes of Fame and short works and interesting work. Instruments. That's right. Yeah. And then from Belgrade, where is Hi, how are you? Up.
Glad to be here.
Welcome. Why don't you let us know a little bit about yourself and where you are and stuff?
My name is Ljubica Damčević. I'm from Belgrade, from Serbia, and I'm here. I'm a violinist, a singer, and composer, pedagogue. So I do a lot of artistic work, not just musical. I also work in theater, and I compose music for a lot of theater plays. So that's like short, a couple of sentences about me.
And I want to also, so this is our all our composers on stage. There are a few that are off stage as well. I know Stanley Hoffman is out there in the ether. And he's watching us, and I know some other composers are as well. And yeah, let me remind the composers and anybody who's watching, if you have a question or a comment that you wish to do, just go and type it in the chat. We'd love to hear from you and answer any thoughts or questions that you might have. So yeah, we have a few minutes left before the show comes on. Let me ask this to the composers. So, Jez, we talked a little bit about it, but why write for 15 minutes of fame? I know it's a unique format where it's only, so it's just, for everybody who doesn't know about 15 minutes of fame, it's 15 1-minute works, all written by a different composer. So you'll hear 15 different works written specifically for Stas, and they're all 1 minute long. So why do it?
And is that for me or for everyone?
Sure. Yeah, you can start.
Well, for me, it feels like a nice, like small, like it's small, right? And so it doesn't feel like I have to really stress out over it too much. I can take risks and I can try new things. And, it's a minute of music. So I can really play with it and have fun. And for me, I just need that kind of constraint of like, it's only a minute of music to be able to get into the mindset of I'm going to play and have fun and like see what happens and push the limits of what I can do compositionally. Instead of, I don't know, something about longer pieces just makes me lock into a mode where it's harder to do that. So I just really love that that constraint.
Anybody else?
Well, I love the format because it's as you can take risk, and it's very nice just to sort of get hold of that sound of Stas on the accordion, and then just play with it for a minute, and that was just a real pleasure, actually.
And it's a challenge, I think, to have an idea in 1 minute. So you need to concentrate to have everything in this small 60 seconds. It's always a challenge for me. So yeah.
And so what parts of it are challenging?
To have an idea, to have a clear idea of a piece, and to have a drama, to have something that happens. So I'm a dramatic composer. I want to tell a little story always, something emotional. And this, to compose this in 1 minute, you need to be very precise. You need to be very concentrated. I think it's easier to write a 5 or 6 minute or 10 minute piece than a 1 minute piece, to be honest, for me.
I agree with all of you, and I would add that to me it's like haiku poetry. So you need to tell something which has sense in that 1 minute, like haiku is in 3 or 5 verses. So to me it was always challenging because I wrote also for some other 15 minutes of fame calls, it was always challenging to find the story on which will I concentrate. And it's funny that I always find it, even though I think, oh my God, but what is the sense? What will happen? What is the sense of everything? In the end, it always comes. So that's the beautiful thing.
And you, Willem?
I don't have very much to add. I think everybody's really kind of covered the gamut of reasons to do it. I would say I find it a very creative exercise. Like I always have lots of ideas that don't quite make it to the page, and this is a good opportunity to just put something onto the page and take advantage of some ideas that I might, like Jazz was saying, might be too experimental to write 10 minutes of music on. And yeah, I think it's a good opportunity to experiment, I would say.
It's like watchmaking, and that you want to find something that is memorable, but the structure has to be so miniaturized. It's easy to write in sonata form or something with a hook that people comes back over and over again that people can relate to, but to put that into a tiny little 1 minute space is much more difficult. Whether I've succeeded, I don't know, but we'll find out later on.
And it's so funny. So that's I'm anyway. I happen to love the 1 minute form too. I love the experimental aspect of it. It's hard. It's hard to just to get that whole idea concise. But it's something I gravitate to. With that said, then so Stas, how about you? So you get all these one little miniature pieces, and now you've got to pick 15. What's that like?
For you all, it's 1 minute piece. For me, 15-minute piece. It's like long piece. Yeah, I agree also with everybody would say, but as a performer, I found it actually challenging to play each piece because, in terms of form, the vision of the piece, climax, yeah, it's all condensed, but it's extremely interesting process of to find each piece individually. What is this about? And for me, if I would play one piece, it's one thing. But for me to play 15 pieces, and to me, it's like a little sweet. I found so much color, and they are so different. And I always tell people when I get new pieces from composers, to me, it's like a Christmas present. I unwrap it and I put my attention right away. I just love new music. And here all 15, and I tell you, it's not easy. It seems like short piece. You learn it. There's so much to find this emotional impulse, to each piece and get into it. There's not enough time, Sometimes if you play a longer piece, you have to kind of starting point, and then you have time to cover up with something. But here, not. You're like under microscope, and to get this feel, the whole concept of the one individual piece, difficult but very interesting. Yeah.
And so Stas, also tell us, so you have all these different styles and aesthetics and so forth that are coming from. So actually, so you've got a lot more submissions. Everybody forgets, it's a call, so you have to weed it down to 15. And so in part of that process, what's going through your head, what you want to do?
To be honest with you, the first thing I just get familiar with the piece, sight reading once, and see how that fit accordion. And sometimes it just does not fit accordion in terms of technical issues, or that's why last time when we talked to you about, I said maybe we'll do workshop to composer who I don't feel it's written for accordion to do workshop. But first I see how it fits accordion, not only technically, sound and everything. You can tell by looking just music, You can tell. And it's a good that I had like 40 or 50 or so, and 15 you just select from best what would work for accordion and for myself as a musician. And
And how I think people underestimate the amount of effort it takes to also translate so many different styles.
Well, it's like when David Bond introduced me to you first time, I thought, well, it's 1 minute piece I can learn, but it's lots of more work behind this 15. I tell you, I spend lots of time to, not just to learn, to just make it, like piece of art.
Right.
My friend one time recorded CD concert pianist of his original music, and he called 10 Pebbles. And I feel like I have 15 diamonds. And each piece to me is just very important to me and touching.
Fabulous. Well, this is a great set, and I like maybe we'll get you again with cello. That would be really awesome.
Oh yeah. I should not mention it. All right,
Oh, I've nearly finished mine.
Now time to showtime. And I would like, before I forget or anything, all composers of you, thank you so much for being interested in accordion, and personally me is writing for me. You can't even imagine how important it for artists, and yeah, I really appreciate it. Even if you don't like my performance, yeah, thank you so much to all of you.
Well, and thank you, Stas.
Thank you, Stas.
Yeah. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, I cheated. I had to edit the show for TV, so I've heard all the pieces. I think you're in for a great show. With that said, 2 minutes. Okay, we got 2 minutes. 2 minutes to go. 2-minute warning.
Stanley wishes me best wishes. Thank you, Stanley. I just reading his comment.
But yeah, we've got there's a comment from David Bone, the man behind the scenes. Great. And so, you know what, let me ask you this too. Well, is there anything that composers would like to see from the project? Obviously, cello and accordion, but anything else?
I think it's the surprise of the calls is part of the attraction. Yeah, you see, it's Thursday morning. There might be something on composer's side. What would they have thought of this time? And harpsichord and trombone, or and that's part of the appeal, I think. Yeah, it's something that you wouldn't have thought of yourself.
Yeah. That's good. That's great to hear. No, yeah. We like to keep all the composers on their toes.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
It's also nice to feel that you're contributing to the repertoire. You know, so for instance, a accordion that you're adding to the repertoire of for that instrument.
Absolutely right. Yeah.
All right. I think it is show time. Let's see if we can get this going. Venglevski and his Bayan accordion. 15 Minutes of Fame is 15 one-minute works that are written for a specific musician or ensemble. This set of 15 is written for the Bayan accordion, dedicated to Stas Venglevski.
Hello, my name is Ljubica Damčević, and I'm a violinist, singer, and composer from Belgrade, Serbia. It is a great pleasure that my composition, May I Pass, has been chosen for 15 Minutes of Fame with Stas Venglevski. The composition is about
transportation, about public transport, and about the frustrations when you are waiting in the middle of a traffic jam. And it has some real bus sounds and the real sounds of public transport. And also, it has the sounds of stressful thoughts of the person who is at that moment in the bus.
Lentedag is the Dutch for spring, and this piece was written in Brussels in the spring, just as all the daffodils were coming out and the buds were on the trees. Everything was looking full of life and full of hope. It's a very joyful piece. There's a lot going on. I don't know if you can see that, but there's a lot going on the left hand and the right hand with bass chords and that nice bright melodic theme which bounces along right the way through the piece. So I hope you enjoy it.
Hello, my name is Ryan Charles Raymer. I'm a composer living in Ohio in the USA, in Medina, which is the state's biggest historic district. I have had work performed by Stas before, and I'm really excited and honored that he's playing another piece of mine. The first time I saw him play, I thought it looked like his instrument was a pet that he had in his lap that he was petting while it was singing. So I thought I would write him a song, and it's called Songlet. It's a little song. And I wanted it to sound like a folk song, but with a slippery time signature and a slippery key signature. I'm so honored to be on this program, and I hope that you all enjoy my work.
My name is Volker Ignaz Schmidt. I'm a composer living in Germany. I consider myself as an out-of-the-box composer who never studied music at university. Well, sometimes it makes me feel like I'm an alien in the world of contemporary music. Originally, I come from rock and jazz music and discovered later in my life what one could call the new contemporary music. I was really lucky to have good and open-minded composing teachers from different aesthetic directions over the last couple of years. I think it's so important to have platforms and opportunities like 50 Minutes of Fame to connect people all over the world. I think Robert is doing a really great job here. Well, my piece, The Frog's Walk for Bayan, is the first number of planned series for this wonderful instrument. It's a character piece, maybe a children piece. I think music for everybody. Enjoy it.
Hi, I'm Jazz, they, them. I am a composer and sound artist, currently splitting time between Chicago and the Cleveland area. And I am super excited to be part of this project and to have an opportunity to write for Stas. I only really recently began writing for the accordion, but as an instrument, I find it fascinating. And Stas is clearly an incredible performer, so this is a real treat. Now, the piece you're about to hear, Moths, is probably the most programmatic piece I've written in a long time. You can really listen for the moth's wings fluttering in the night. But I really enjoyed writing it, and I hope you too will enjoy Moths.
Hi, my name is Willen Whiting, and I'm the composer of the next piece on today's program, titled Ground. And this piece, I wanted to play with this technique that's unique to the accordion. It's called the bellow shake. I think it'll be pretty self-explanatory when you hear the piece. I was listening to a lot of like metal around the time that I wrote this piece, and I think this technique and what I was listening to went hand in hand.
Hello, everyone. My name is Andrew Wilson, and welcome to my composing shed in Tavistock, Devon, in southwest England. We're on the very edge of Dartmoor here, a setting which will be familiar to you perhaps from the famous Sherlock Holmes mystery, The Hound of the Baskervilles. Mine is called Bayon Barcarolle. I've taken my inspiration from the traditional style of boatman song in Venice. But I've added a few unsettling Gothic twists to my version, all suggested by the haunting sound of the bayan. The usual lilting 6/8 rhythm has been replaced by one with 5 in a measure. And this introduces a hint of menace into the lagoon's usually calm ripples. Sit back in your gondola and enjoy.
Greetings. This is Josh Schmidt. I'm a composer currently based in Milwaukee, but I work nationally and internationally. The title of this piece is Formula One, and it is written for Stas Venglevski and his bayan accordion. The piece is exactly as the title describes. There is a particular formula of musical events geared towards a piece that lasts only a minute. I hope you enjoy it.
Hello everyone, my name is Nantenay Murasat and I'm a music composer from Antananarivo, Madagascar. This work expresses the mood when we sit down under a tamarind tree. It's also a tribute to that tree. In the south of Madagascar, it's a sacred tree. Some ritual ceremony take place at the base of the tree. The village meeting take place around this tree. People all over make appointment at the base of the tree. So it's a homage of this wonderful tree.
And that's our show. Awesome. Where is Stas?
I'm here.
What do you think, Stas?
Well, I like the music very much. Yeah, that is interesting to watch myself. Often, but yeah.
Great
Yeah.
job, Stas.
I'm
Really,
great.
really beautiful set.
Yes, it was a revelation hearing all those pieces. Congratulations! I really take my hat off to you. Oh, I haven't got one, but I would do.
No, thank you for making it happen. You know,
Yeah.
because of you, we do exist, performers. You know?
Well, Stas, if I can speak for everybody, we're really happy that you're playing new music. It's awesome.
Like I said before, those were colorful pieces. You know, diamonds to me. So it's gonna stay with me for long. So I hope you are gonna write more, maybe bigger pieces, maybe next project, maybe 1 hour piece each. You know? No, start like with 5 minutes because we do, like somebody of you mentioned, we do need repertoire. That's what keep us going. Accordion, again, I mentioned fairly new instrument in history of music. So, and we always hungry for new repertoire. And if you, some of you already writing for me bigger pieces, but I'll be welcome you for to perform your pieces and your music. Yeah, thanks again.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Well, and that's part of what this project's about, is sort of just like, an entryway into bigger and better things.
Rob, can we just thank you and Stas on behalf of all the performers and I think everybody listening, because I mean what you've done is amazing. It's a really great collection of pieces, all very different but all very, very beautiful, and what you've done here is very special. Thank you,
Robert.
Yeah.
It's a pleasure. Thank you.
And I also would like to thank Mark Ward and Karen Ward for recording this project, because they're always so helpful and so open to this project. They're not just recording, they just love this, and blessing to work with them. And yeah, and it's kind of freed me a little bit to be nervous for live performance. I went there for a day, we recorded, and I kind of, because due to my schedule traveling, I cannot keep those pieces all the time in my life. But thanks to Mark and Karen as well. Yeah.
Well, that's the truth, isn't it? There's a lot of like people and mechanisms all in the background that make everything happen. And I know she's gonna hate me doing it, but I'm gonna bring Anne Rowe onto the stage. Where is she? Hey, Anne Rowe.
Hi, Rob. Hi, everyone.
Here's our engineer.
I really enjoy your pieces. So beautiful, so diverse.
Anne Rowe is another fantastic composer, and she helps put together all our, all the technical things through StreamYard and YouTube and all that. So thank you, Anne Rowe.
Thank you.
Great. Just any more comments, suggestions? So let me remind the audience too, if you have any questions or comments and so forth, feel free to ask in the chat. We'll be happy to answer it. But yeah, does anybody, before I start talking what's coming up, does anybody have anything to say?
Yeah, let's just keep doing what we do, try to find more ideas and involve more people, and like different combinations or whatever it is, up and promote it, because it's so important. New music, it's always, I think it's very powerful tool. Original music is just the best.
Absolutely. Yeah, talking about promotion. So yeah, let me sing out to all the audience members. Remember to like and subscribe. Please, all the support helps the channel and puts more projects like this forward. There's lots of people are watching and seeing these things, so every little comment helps. It's going to be it's great. So hopefully we'll get accordion, and cello on the roster. That'll probably be for 2026. Believe it or not, if we do that, we always put. I don't know if all the composers know that, but we usually have a little bit of time to compose. I try to put out a call for at least 6 months, so everybody can get the juices flowing and and study and so forth. Right now there's 6 calls out. I'll talk about that in a second, but we have this year is filled. I have 6 more calls in the wings ready to go that will be going out in August, September, October, November, and December. So yeah, there'll be a call every month for the next year, so-called. Yeah. So the if you guys haven't seen it, and this is just for everybody who's watching and so forth, like I said, we're doing 15 minutes of fame. We put out these calls, and I'm just doing this to remind me, where are they? So we have 6 calls coming up. The one, I don't know did anybody see the calls for the Glissatar?
Yeah, great instrument. Yeah.
Yeah, that is a fabulous. I went, Danny, the Glissatar. So a Glissatar is a brand new instrument for all those. It's just,
you mentioned it.
yeah, and it's able to do microtones in between each of the notes and stuff with a new technique that he invented. But it's a fabulous instrument. I met him in New York, and I'm a real big believer. I don't know if Andrew White, we extended his call. Long story short, I made a mistake on the call, so I don't know. Mistakes happen. So we extended to May 31st. And there's also this call for Coco Lau, who is a wonderful soprano in Germany. And so, we were talking about writing for specific people and things. She approached the project and with this great idea of a theme about mothers and daughters and sort of the growing up. And yeah, anyway, I encourage everybody to take a look at that. It's a really passionate call. And then Thomas Piercy, like he's been in the background here with watching the show. He's done, so he's like David Bone. I think he's done 7 different calls for 15 minutes of fame. So this is I think his 8th call that he's going to be doing with us for Hichiriki and low flutes. Again, a unique call. And then lastly, like for not lastly, there's Mary Beth Orr. I don't know if we did a 15 minutes of fame with Mary Beth Orr 2 years ago, and she's doing another call for voice and horn, which is another great unique combination that's rarely seen. But that's and then Alyssa Wright is coming back. We did a 15 minutes of fame with her, I think 10 years ago, and she has a call for lever harp. So if you guys haven't seen those, definitely write for those. They're all going to be really, really fun. And Andrew, like I said, I've got 6 more calls in the hopper ready to go out, but I don't want to ruin the surprise. So I want to thank everybody for being a part of the show. I hope you like this format. It's when Stas said he was going to record all of these before we were going live, I thought it would be a great idea to try out this sort of, listening party. What do you guys think? Is it okay? Is it fun? Is it right?
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah.
Yep.
I want to thank all the audience for tuning in and listening to us, speak about ourselves and our music and stuff like that. I mean, if people aren't listening, there's no point in, in doing all this, right? So yeah, we thank you so much. And check out everybody that's here. They all have pages and so forth, and lots of longer works for bigger instruments and ensembles and stuff like that and so forth. And yeah, I want to thank you all again. It's a pleasure to present your music and share some time together.
Thank you. It's been a great experience, Robert. Brilliant.
Thank you. All right. And until next time, we'll see you then.
Yeah. Thanks, Robert, and everybody.
Thank you.